Intimacy is the sense of another person fully knowing you and loving you because of who you are, as well as in spite of knowing you and some things that you're not comfortable with. This requires honesty and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Intimacy must be practiced and practical. Stay tuned for some down-to-earth practical suggestions. Welcome to Life as God Intended. I'm delighted you've tuned in today. I'm Don, and it's always special when we have these times together. Thanks for subscribing to the channel, for pushing that notification bell so that when we upload a video that you'll be notified. In today's broadcast, we get really practical. Everybody's always asking me, how do I do it? Regardless of the topic that we're discussing. Well, today I'll be suggesting some how-tos. I've entitled it, Practical Ways to Develop Intimacy in Marriage. What rates highest in long-term relationships, you ask? Well, passion is certainly important, but intimacy rates highest. And most couples long for intimacy in relationship, particularly the longer they've been together, the more they complain about the fact that they live under the same roof, they do things together, but they don't feel like they're close anymore. So what is needed to experience intimacy as God intended? Well, God. Now, I mean that seriously, because our relationship with God sometimes wanes as well, doesn't it? And without an intimate relationship with God, you will lack intimacy with one another. We'll be covering that in another broadcast in the future, so you don't want to miss that. So intimacy is the sense of another person fully knowing you and loving you because of who you are, as well as in spite of knowing you. This requires honesty and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. There are a host of practical things that might be suggested, both eliminating some negative things, as well as rediscovering some positives. Consider turning off the computer, television, video game, cell phone, tablet when you're together. I can't tell you how many couples complain of that when I have them in the counseling office. Spend time talking, sharing, looking at each other. You know, that eye contact thing that might have been lost. Agree to spend quality time with one another once you're both home. It can be hard to find time together as a couple. Having children in the home can often magnify that difficulty, can't it, Mom and Dad? Many times, we long for those deep emotional conversations. Even an hour of quality time for the two of you together is a positive start. A weekly date night or a lunch together, regular walks around the neighborhood can allow for valuable together time. It is also vital to balance between self and couple time. The strongest marriage relationships have two interdependent individuals as partners. Each one has meaningful, healthy, distinctive lives that are to be experienced. You know, sometimes too much togetherness can be a bad thing if it deprives the relationship of the energy and experiences that interdependent beings require. And so the key to healthy interdependence is the security of trusting each other when you're not together. Although your hobbies and professional life may be different, sharing the excitement of what God is working in each other enriches the marriage relationship when you do get together, knowing you are in union and yet distinct. It is also vital to spend time in pursuits you both enjoy doing together. These shared pursuits help to build precious memories while strengthening emotional intimacy. Be aware and care for each other's physical needs and each other's health. Guard against overcommitting yourself to outside projects and pursuits that may rob you of together time. And this would also include your church activities, your social activities. Plan on and look forward to great sex. Sex was created by God and intended to be the highest form of intimate expression in a marriage. You'll want to stay tuned to future broadcasts where I'm going to have a whole broadcast entitled God Created Sex. Above all else, one of the most practical things you can do is pray together. Nothing will cultivate intimacy in marriage like prayer. Praying together where you both open up, becoming vulnerable before God and each other in God's presence is the highest form of intimacy to be realized. Intimacy is the sense of another person fully knowing you and loving you because of who you are, as well as in spite of knowing you. This requires honest and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Intimacy must be both practiced and practical. God designed marriage to be the closest relationship on earth. No friendship or parent-child relationship should surpass the level of intimacy in marriage. When God created man, He made us body, soul, and spirit. In fact, Paul prays in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 23 when he says, "Now may the God of peace Himself sanctify you entirely, and may your spirit and soul and body be kept complete." Because of this, married couples must cultivate the body, the soul, the spirit to develop every level of intimacy in marriage as God designed. Think of it this way. Physical intimacy equals the body. Friendship intimacy equals the soul. And spiritual intimacy is the human spirit, where you're one with Christ. In order to have a Christian marriage, Jesus must be active in both partners, thus creating a spiritual relationship of oneness, one flesh, a man and a woman in whom the Spirit of God lives and functions and draws into unity with one another and with the triune God. The two becoming one. In one spirit union with Christ and with one another, Christian marriage becomes a yoked temple of the Holy Spirit where they together express union. The union of intercourse, of spirit, soul, and body, as no other relationship on earth can do. Intimacy must be practiced and practical as God intended. We hope you were encouraged and blessed by this video. We would love to have your feedback and interact with you. If you have a testimony that relates to today's discussion, please share it below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that each time we upload a video that you'll be notified. Be sure to check out our blog on our website, which is in the description below. And until next time, may you experience life as God intended.